What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Asia stream. Hopefully, you guys are doing great. I am doing absolutely amazing. The first two streams, we absolutely killed it. The first day was an 85-point long, second day was a 105-point short. So, hopefully, we'll be able to keep that win streak going. Today, if you let's just walk us, let me walk you guys through what I'm seeing, and you guys will be able to have the same read as me, but we could have some action within the first few minutes. Okay, so what am I seeing? Remember yesterday I was bearish. Why was I bearish? Because wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. So here we swept the previous candle's high and we closed back within the range, telling me that the sellers are the one controlling the market during that previous day. And we also have a daily unfilled fair value gap right below me. What does that tell me? It tells me that buyers were so aggressive within the last 3 days that sellers did not get a fair exchange. So now that they're stepping in within that daily down close candle, we have more chances of filling this area with low volume rather than the previous daily high. Okay, so stop number one will be this, stop number two will be this. Okay, that's basically how I view the market. So then we can see that during the Asia session, we took a short. If I go down to this hourly chart, we took a short from here, and my target with this was this internal low. Ended up taking out some profits earlier because you guys know it takes some time before actually hitting the target. My target got hit, framework got respected, but then let's take a look at what happened during that day. Okay, during today, and you guys will be able to see my framework. Okay, so we are sweeping the low, and now we're closing back bullish. Okay, what does that mean? We're respecting that bullish for value gap, and we have also a very strong close. So I am seeing some potential longs back towards the previous daily high. Okay, maybe within the first hour of the day, hour of the market open. The real question that we need to ask ourselves is, how deep is the retracement going to be, and do we need to fill those gaps right below us? We don't know. We don't know, but I might take multiple trades within this session, maybe trying an aggressive long. If I get stopped out, then another opportunity would be at 238, and then another one at 181. Okay, so I have multiple tries, but all of them will be derived from the same exact framework. So right now I'm seeing that we have more chances of printing back towards the previous daily high rather than the previous daily low. And if it retraces deep, then it just gives us a better entry. Okay, so usually, well, why did I came up with this framework is because we always say target previous daily highs, target previous daily lows, but in reality, when you step in during the New York session and you really study the charts, you can see that those levels are always swept when you open during the New York session. And by what session? Either the Asia or the London session. So that's how I came up with this model. We will open in the next 15 seconds. So enough yapping. Let's get to the action. All right. So the best thing we can do, the best thing we can see is a aggressive open to the downside right here. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Open up. Higher gap up. Yeah, we're most likely going to take out that high right now. Most likely. Very, very likely to happen. I might just buy 2 right there, actually. Let me be aggressive on that first print. Missed it. Missed it. Alright. It's alright. It gapped up though. There's literally nothing I could have done there. Actually, nothing I could have done there. It was an aggressive open, gap up also. So it was very quick. You know, can I really say something to myself? No, I would have wanted to see a deeper retracement and get in somewhere here with my take profit being at this high. That would have been, you know, a gap down would have been much better than a gap up 100,000%. You're a little delayed. How much delay do I have? Can you guys tell me? It should be 2 seconds, like max. Is it? Is it? What's the delay? Let me see. $41. Oh no. I might need to. I need to check my things, but I think it should be the same thing. It's about 20 to 30 seconds. What? Is that normal, Tony? They're saying that there's a lot of delay compared to yesterday. Yes, that's basically what they're saying. Usually it's like 2 seconds, and then most people are telling me it's like 20. But I think that's like the default setting on OBS. It might be 20 for real. All right, we're gonna check into that. But currently, the previous daily high got swept. I think we still have some room back towards 78, which is all-time highs. We could definitely look for a potential trade there if I have a good pullback right here. I like that aggression here. Definitely do like it. Currently, basically, my first initial thought was longing the open towards the daily high. We took out that daily high. So then, right now, we're most likely just gonna play the extremes and wait just for a normal power of 3 setup to catch a scalp. But like, I would say, bigger picture play. It's not gonna be the same play as yesterday, of course not. But let me see here if we can catch something on gold though. GC. Okay, that daily bar actually is doing the same thing. Yeah, that's not bad. That would be a good long for me on gold actually with that gap down. Let's see. I don't want to force anything within the first few minutes, especially since I don't have any like bigger framework plays. How's the chat doing? This stream number 3 now. You got to keep the streak going. That's the most important thing. What is it? What indicator is that displaying hourly candle? It's right now it's displaying the daily candles. So that indicator is called PO3 candles by, I don't remember who did that, but it's PO3 candles. That's the indicator. And there's another one. It's called ICT. Wait, let me see. ICT HTF candles by Fadi. This is basically the same thing, literally. And you can see like the timing of the closures and stuff. I just find that this one is takes less space on my chart and has less numbers and stuff, so it's smoother. I like it better. Thinking we tag 3400 before any pullbacks. It's gonna be hard to say, depending on how that first 15-minute print is. If it closes that way, I would anticipate the next one to actually close in the same direction, which is bullish also. We'll see. Bigger question is, how are you doing, Amos? Still liking hosting the Asia set? Yeah, absolutely. I love those sessions. I'm definitely very happy to be hosting them. You know, I definitely have models for the Asia session. It's just, you know, more of a bigger picture play, and depending on the daily close, my trades will be different day by day and will sometimes take a little bit longer before hitting the target. But you know, the market mechanics behind is always the same. The reasoning behind is always the same. It's just time frame alignment. But I believe time is fractal, meaning that whatever time frame you're looking at, on this time frame, the next bar has the same exact framework. Basically, the likelihood of you printing either a bullish candle or a bearish candle on the next bar is exactly the same thing as if you're looking at a daily candle or a 15-minute candle or even an hourly candle, you know. So that's pretty much my take on it. Session liquidity tracker is a better one. You use your indicator that you like. Why am I not using those session liquidity trackers? Basically, is that you can see them with your own eyes pretty easily, but I would say you can't, if you're staring at a 1-minute chart, you can't really see how the 15-minute chart looks like. You don't see if there's a gap above you or below you, and you don't know exactly if there's a pretty big wick or, you know, any rejections from highs and lows on the 15. So, or even the hourly. So this indicator is like the best one for me, 100%. But you know, if you like the session indicator, that, you know, this is a pretty big pullback on NQ right there. Like to see that. Can we expect previous daily low sweep? Okay, that's a good question. Here, what am I seeing from this candle? I would personally never short a candle like this. Never. Because what is the previous day telling me? It's telling me that we swept the previous daily low and closed back all the way within the range. Okay. And there is buyers. Okay. Buyers are like a wall. Within that daily bar, there is a wall everywhere within that candle. Literally. So for you to short the top here and expect the previous daily low to get swept, you will have a lot of bounces that may create a resweep, take you out, and then actually giving you a move. The smart play, in my opinion, if you're looking for a short, wouldn't be to look for a short back towards the previous daily low. That, in my opinion, is so far away from us in terms of like how many handles. It's 600 handles away. The further you are away from an internal low or internal high, the smaller the chances of you actually sweeping it. Okay, just risk to reward wise, statistically, if you're close to an internal high, you have a lot of chances of sweeping it, and if you're far, then you have less and less chances. So here, the smart play would be to look for a rejection of that and a candle to close in that way on a certain time frame, and then look for a pullback towards, you know, an unfilled gap below you, or even just a fib level, meaning that, let's say you take a range. Let's say I'm on this 15-minute chart, and you would trade from here all the way to 50% of that, okay, of that those 15-minute swing points. If I was looking for shorts, I would take out profits within that daily bullish candle rather than holding it all the way to the previous daily low. That's my take on it, because usually it's very rare that you're going to see candles sweeping the high and closing back within the range, or sweeping the low and closing back within the range. And you see here, it happened on 2 different days. It happened yesterday and it happened today. So those kind of reversal prints, they don't really appear too often. But when they appear, I know how much substance that actually, it tells me a lot of information basically on the chart. And this, I would say, candlestick behavior tells me a lot about what happened on the previous day. That's really what I was referring to. So currently, very big pullback right now from this 15-minute candle, being very, very aggressive, and looks like it wants to sweep those internal lows right below us, right after bumping above the previous daily high. Can we take a potential trade here? It wouldn't be it would be a very aggressive play, I would say, and it would be a trade that I would consider a scalp rather than anything else. So who in general consider themselves a reversal trader in this chat? So type 1 if you are someone who just trades reversals all the time, and type 2 if you're someone who likes continuations way more than reversals. And I'll let you know what I think about those two. There's not one that is better than another. There's just one that happens more often, I would say, and gives you a higher frequency of trades for sure. One was reversal, yeah, and one was reversal and 2 continuation. That's just, is that what I was saying? I forgot, but I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Okay, there's a lot of ones. Yeah, there's a lot of ones. Okay, I don't have, I play both sides for sure. I like to play both sides, but I always like to wait for a lot of confirmations before actually taking a reversal. And let me give you an example of the type of reversals I would take. And it has to have a meaning behind. I can't, I see a lot of traders taking reversals just based on key levels. And for me, it's very hard to take those because I judge key levels being subjective. Sometimes we bounce from a certain level, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we, let's say, sweep the internal low, sometimes we don't. And sometimes, let's say, even in terms of fib levels, sometimes we go back to 61.8, sometimes 88%, sometimes 71.2. You never know. Okay, so those kind of levels are kind of subjective for me. But what is not subjective is candle closures. Okay, let's say I'll give you an example of a trade that I would like to take as a reversal, but my reversal plays are super short term, so they're counter trend, but they're very in and out very fast. So let's say here would be an example of a potential reversal that I would take. So we have a aggression, a big push to the upside, and I'm always staring at either a 15-minute chart or an hourly chart. And let's say here we are on a 15-minute chart and we're displacing. And what are we creating? We're creating bullish gaps, okay? Does that tell me? It tells me that buyers were so aggressive within the last 45 minutes that sellers did not get a fair exchange. Here in this area, we have a low volume area, basically low volume node. And the thing that I like to watch for reversals is how that candle actually closed. If it closed back within the range of the previous one, it could be bullish or bearish. It tells me a lot about what happened within the last 15 minutes, so the last cycle. And here, if that candle was not able to actually close above the second candle's high, then this is the moment where I would judge that we have more chances of taking the internal low, okay, so the gap before this internal high. Okay, so when are those trades very good to take is when you take, a small reversal from here to there, okay, for a 10-15 point scalp, and then you walk away, but you don't try to, reverse the whole trend. You just know that the next bus stop is within this gap, and then you leave, So those are the kind of reversals that I would take. But are they really considered reversals? I would say they're just considered counter trend scalps rather than just fading the whole market. But that's pretty much the approach that I take. What do you guys think about that approach? Do you guys like it? Or do you guys think it's kind of a waste to take such a low risk to reward trade on a reversal when, the goal of a reversal is kind of anticipate a trend flipping completely. What do you guys think about this approach? So it's like basically kind of it's a constant. I would counter that being a reversal still, but it is very like quick in and out. So some people might say it's like it's not necessarily a reversal. It's still counter trend though. You like it? Let's go. That's what I want to see. All right, let's look for a trade here. First 15 closed back within the range, very aggressive from that initial down move. Am I going to take anything here after the previous daily high got swept and that 15-minute candle closed back within the range? I don't like that down wick. I don't like how big that down wick is. It's telling me that it's lower probability. If the body was bigger and we accepted truly below 05 here, I would have potentially taken some sort of shorts back down towards 73. Wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story, and here the body's too weak for me, and the wicks here there's too much rejection from that level, telling me that I shouldn't really trust the shorts as aggressive as I want to. So I'll wait for another opportunity. I'll wait for something very clear to show up. In terms of what I'm thinking about gold, it's kind of the same thing, guys. Just generally, we tend to sweep daily highs and lows within the Asia or the London session. So what am I anticipating right here from gold? Just seeing how this previous daily candle closed. We swept the low, we engulfed the high at 28, and then we gapped down from yesterday's close. So I would definitely anticipate that we have more chances of seeing the daily high than the daily low. So any longs within that range for me makes sense, but it's a question of timing. You could keep displacing down all the way to that key level right here, that breaker block, and then bounce from it to get back towards the daily high, or you could literally react right now. So it's a question of when, and this is very hard in trading, as you guys know. It is freaking hard to do that. So I'm seeing longs on gold. Let's say I wake up tomorrow and price is at 99. Okay, let's say it's hanging out here. I would definitely anticipate that New York session would be a distribution. And let's say Asia would accumulate, London, let's say, bumps the Asia low, but accumulates also. Then New York potentially sweeps the London low, flips back above the London high, potentially long back towards the previous daily high. Either this profile or another profile that I could see happening would be we wake up and the low of day of the current candle, you see this candle, was created during the London session. So let's say we accumulate during the Asia, we displace down very aggressively during the London session, and then when we open up during New York, we're already above the Asia high. So you need to long the first gap here to expect the daily high to get swept. So that's my analysis on gold. I'm seeing longs rather than shorts for sure. How deep is the retracement going to be? We don't know, like I said, but the framework remains the same. If I do have something that I like, I will most likely take it on gold, but I'm going to require a lot of things to happen before I'm actually taking a risk on gold. I won't lie. I just prefer NQ's action in general. So don't yell at me in the chat. All right. What do you guys think about this overall analysis and the overall way that I'm reading the chart? I just want to see, like, is it very different to most people, or do you guys like the simplicity of it? I want to get some feedback. It's not for my ego. I just want to see how you guys would like me to approach those daily bias and my pre-market game plan. That's really about it. How was your day, Amos? It was amazing, as usual. Always amazing. Even if it's not amazing, I say it was amazing. All right. You're always got to stay positive and find the positive in the negative. That's a big part of the mindset that I have, though. Always staying positive at any times, and I never speak down even if I'm in the worst possible scenario, like I never speak down ever, because it will those talks will enter your subconscious mind, and as soon as it enters your subconscious mind, then you're weak, and you're gonna start doubting, and you're gonna start being anxious and not grateful and this and that. So like, I'm chilling, always blessed, always grateful, always doing great. All right. Once you anticipate a counter trend play, are you heavier on the contracts since you're gonna be in and out? Very good question. Yes, 100%. That's the thing. It's like my approach. I have a very unorthodox way of trading, which is I am risking the same amount as I'm willing to make. So let's say I'm entering a trade. My take profit will be here. My entry will be here. And my stop loss will be the same size as my TP. Okay. So if you go on my YouTube, comments, okay, on my short forms, you will see people talking shit and be like 50-50 trader. I love those comments. But yeah, so basically in order to make up for that lack of risk to reward, so my risk to reward is low, then in order for you to actually make a decent amount of profits with that strategy that is fully based on consistency, then you need to up your risk. Okay, it's really important. So I'm gonna enter 2, maybe 3 minis depending, but I'm gonna take out profits at 15 to 20 points. I'm in and out very fast, but I really trust my framework a lot. That's literally my whole approach. I trust my framework with my life, literally. And even if I lose, it's all right. I'll bounce back. I'll lose 4K. All right, I lost 4K. What about it? Bro, I am so green right now. Your strat is working magic. Let's go. Amazing. I like that approach. I think it is conservative. What happens if that happens at a key level? Would you have more confidence to stay in the reversal? Good question. That's tough. That's a really good question. Okay. When am I potentially gonna stay within the trade and see that there's more chances of it printing a full-on reversal? I would say it's you are entering on a time frame lower, but the bias on the higher time frame is the same direction as the trade that you're taking. So let me give you an example of yesterday. Let's say, when will I think that a trade will go down more aggressively and like go for heavier targets? It's always based on a higher time frame candle or a higher time frame objective. Let's say I take this candle, okay? I know that my target would be the unfilled gap right below me, okay? That's my target. So that's my daily chart. But when I'm gonna take a trade, I'm not necessarily just gonna enter based on that daily candle and find an entry. I need to find some sort of aggression from sellers first, and then enter and predict that we're gonna go back down towards the unfilled gap. Okay, when I'm in here, I could easily just take out my profits for a 1-to-1 at this internal low. Okay, just basing myself off of a 15-minute scalp or an hourly scalp. But here, if I'm in because of a 15-minute confirmation, but it ended up being in the same direction as my higher time frame, then I can potentially expect it to run lower. Does that make sense? So it's like it needs to have time frame alignment. So if you're shorting and you want to look for a higher risk toward play, then make sure that a time frame above you is actually saying the same thing and has something below you that is worth having as a target. Sheesh! That was well said. All right. And at this time of the day, sometimes you guys will see my real personality, me tweaking out, you guys just have to ask me the right questions, and it's all about the vibes. It's easier when someone else is with me though. It's like when I have a guest, so easy. But like when I'm alone, I kind of look like a freaking monster, speaking to myself and shit. Okay, there's a lot of questions. Can you please teach if you already decided what is the trend, then how you enter, what confirmation or which type of candles you look to enter, or do you have any other? Brother, you know how much time that would take me to do that? It would literally take me like at least 5 hours to explain everything, but I explained mostly what I'm going to be looking for. If a candle closes bullish, I'm expecting the next one to close bullish also. That's my principle. If I take a look at today in general, if we just start from 7 a.m. because a lot of people are trading from 7 a.m. Okay, candle prints bullish, I'm predicting that the next one will close bullish. Candle closes bullish, predicting that the next one closes bullish also. Okay, went up very aggressively, there is ways for you to potentially take out some profits or protect yourself. Here it closed bearish, it's the open, let's wait. Boom, candle closes bullish, I'm predicting the next one closes bullish also. Closes bullish, I'm not fading it. That's the mistake. People will wait for this high to get swept, and as soon as they're going to see a shift, they're going to predict that price will go down towards this candle's low. When in reality, there is a wall here within that print that will not let you print lower prices. It will stop at a certain area and then flip back to bullish, okay, which is exactly what happened within the earlier session. Boom, bullish again, and then bullish, that closed bearish. So then you need to watch out. You see, like, there is going to be moments where your bias is going to be wrong. Okay, so let's say here, okay, I expected that the next candle, when this one closed, that the next one would be bullish also. Then if I scale down to, let's say, the 5-minute chart, because the 5-minute chart is telling me basically to is basically the time frame alignment from the hourly, what I would expect is accumulation, manipulation to the downside, us flipping back below the opening price, finding resistance, pushing back up. I'm in longs, protected low, predicting a bullish bar. Okay, so here going down to the 5, we go down. Okay, now I'm looking to see if there is a big reversal within the market. Okay, right there, exactly right there is a moment where I would anticipate a long, you see, because we opened up lower, flipped back above the opening price, and now we're distributing. But you see that candle, okay, you see how it might get you confused. That candle actually closed bearish, but the distribution within it would have made you a winner. Okay, so let's say I'll give you the example. Okay, here on the hourly, candle closed bullish, going down to the 5. Okay, you're going to see that candle print in real time. New candle opens, we drive down lower. The mistake people will make is this: they will short this right here, right there. They will short the market right there with their stop loss above this high, predicting that this bar right here will close back as a reversal and wipe out this low. This is the mistake, when in reality there is a wall, a big wall of buyers. So what I'm seeing basically is that this candle has not a lot of chances of actually printing. So I'm doing the opposite. I'm waiting for the wall to actually strike those sellers and then us to flip back. You see? So let's wait. A lot of sellers are going to get faked out here. And as soon as we pop right back up and that down wick is getting bigger, you see how that down wick is getting bigger and bigger. Now I know we're most likely going to flip and take out that high. So then I enter longs within the pullback. My stop loss will be here. My take profit will be somewhere at a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Okay, something like this. That's the principle behind my trades and how I view the market. Wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. All right. Let me see the comments here. I yapped for like 15 minutes without even taking a look at a certain comment. hopefully it answered your question, but like I have a reversal framework, I have a continuation framework, but in general, a candlestick, if you take the candlestick and really dumb it down to what it's actually telling you, okay, if it's above the open, the buyers are in control. For below the open, the sellers are in control. Then, you know, trade accordingly, you know, and favor continuations if you are a scalper. If you're an intraday trader, it's different. Okay. I'm just a noob listening to the pro have more trading. You're not a noob, bro. Hope you keep the winning streak. Yesterday was a very nice stream. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was an amazing stream yesterday, actually, with Terrence. W duo. Let me know in the chat if you guys like that duo. Yeah, Amos knows what he's doing. Yes, sir. What I want to hear. And then I'm going to take a trade. Imagine if I get smacked. Beautiful. Thanks for the reasoning. Appreciate you. Okay, sorry if you mentioned this, but what are you matching candles across all time frames? Okay, that's a very good question. That's a very good question right here. No, it's I am reading very old chats because I did actually miss out on a lot of your comments. Okay, so time frame alignment, very important, the core of my trading in general. Okay, one main mistake a lot of people will do is that they will have a very good way of framing their trades. So they will be on side most of the time. They will know the direction right. Okay, they have a pretty good way of dumbing it down and just knowing the direction overall. But when it comes down to the timing and the exits, it's a complete chaos because they mix time frames together that have nothing to do. Okay, let me give you an example. If you're looking at a daily chart to find your bias, but then you're scaling down to a 1 minute chart to find your entry, then there is a huge problem because there is not a big correlation between the 1 minute and the daily. Okay, a lot of fake outs can happen within the 1 minute chart before the daily expansion actually happens, you know. So for me, if I'm trading a 1 minute chart for my entry, I am not trying to predict something more than a 15-minute move, okay, or a 15-minute bar. So let's say in terms of, you know, if I can quantify it, if I'm looking at a 15-minute, oh shit, if I'm looking at a 15-minute chart, okay, so let's say here it's the prediction. So I'm predicting a 15-minute bar. No, let me put it that way. Framework. So if I'm taking my framework off of the 15-minute chart, then my entry, let me just put all the H1, H4, daily, weekly, and monthly. Okay. If I'm taking my framework off of a 15-minute chart, then my entry should be a 1 minute chart. If it's an hourly framework, then my entry is on the 5. If it's a 4-hour, then my entry is on the 15. If it's a daily, then my entry is on the hourly, and you will be able to understand why I took the trade yesterday that I took. If it's on the weekly, then I'm looking at an H4, and if it's a monthly, then I'm looking at a daily. Simple as that. Simple as that. If it's a 30-minute, that would be a good question. What time frame would I look at? If it's a 30-minute framework, then I'm using the M2 and M3 chart. That's it. But let's say if you're using a daily chart for your framework, you're scaling down to 1 minute. Holy shit, you could get faked out so much. Too much. Okay, what am I anticipating now? Okay, first thing, this daily candle closed bullish. Okay, we swept the previous daily low, closed back within the range. So my first anticipation was that we were gonna open towards the daily high. This is exactly what we did. Was I able to catch a trade there? No. Okay, what am I gonna do here? Now I'm gonna scale down the time frame and read who is in control. So now I'm on the hourly, and within the previous hour, the sellers are in control. We are dominating. The sellers are dominating the buyers because we are below that opening price. If this candle closes bearish, then I'm not anticipating the next one to close bullish. I'm anticipating the next one to potentially go and fill those gaps below us. So it's a question of waiting for us to have the complete direction from this hourly candle close to tell me who's in control, because this candle could change. It's still fluctuating. There's still 22 minutes left for that candle to close. It could wick that high, flip back above the open, and close bullish, and my bias will be completely wrong if I enter now. Okay, so currently, since my daily target has already been taken out, I'm going to scale down time frames in order to find a trade that has the same kind of substance but on a lower time frame. And here it would be the hourly mixed with the 5-minute chart. So I will wait for that close. Tell me the story of that hourly candle for rejecting highs, breaking lows. You know what I'm going to be expecting for the 7 to 8 p.m. hourly candle. Pretty much what I'm going to be looking for. And on gold, looking for a potential bounce from this level. First level that I would say could bounce is, literally right now. But we could easily retrace back towards the 500, which is a pretty big, stop loss, I would say. So, yeah. Let me read the comments again. I'm trying to get a trade. I missed a bunch of longs, but I wanna ape it. I'll try to scalp for sure. The big candles on the right are just an indicator called PO3 candles. I don't mean to ask you again, but do you really listen to the classical while you trade? What do you mean, the classical? What does that mean? What's the classical? Is that music or what is that? I'm French, bro. Speak in Fortnite terms. I'm also young. I like the concepts of a lot of buyers trying to buy cheap, locally sweeping, and then echoing. Yeah, it's a pretty good concept. Why not short to break this range? I would need to wait for a full-on candle to close and tell me that the sellers are ready. Beats. So that's why I'm not just shorting immediately, because it could definitely, pull back deeper into 38, which would be what I anticipate actually if we break below 92. If we engulf this, then I would expect the next 2 hours to actually print down. But this candle has 20 minutes left before it closes. How tall are you? All right. What are those questions? Are you trying to date me? If you're not a girl, I swear I'm not answering this question. A grown man asking another grown man how tall is he? Guys, am I tripping? I'm 6'4". All right. Simple as that. We already talked about it earlier. Are you locked in? Am I locked in? Hell yeah, I'm locked in. 5-3. Chill, 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 chill. You're gonna kill all my leads here. Chill, bro. Literally. That's a good thing you just said right there. Grown men ask how much you have in the bank. That's what you should ask. Literally. I swear. Ask me how much I have in the bank. No, I'm not even gonna answer to any of those questions. BO3 candles. Black Ops 3 candles, yeah. AMOS, why do you trade minis and not micros? I think it's a pretty easy answer. It's a pretty easy answer. Because I'm a grown man. Grown men trade minis. 100%. Who agrees with that statement? I think he's talking about the music in my IG shorts. Okay. All right. By the way, I love this kind of music. Do I listen to that when I'm alone, or not necessarily, because I think you see, like, that type of music is kind of it's relaxing, but it's kind of depressing at the same time. It's like, it's the type of music that you know I don't I get in my feelings when I start hearing that. So I try to chill on that. Big accumulation within the last 30 minutes, I would say. This 30-minute did not go anywhere. It's an inside bar, meaning that the first 30 closed bearish and engulfed the previous one. But here you can see the last 30-minute of that hour, we did not trade below or above the previous candle's range, basically, on the 30-minute, meaning that we are accumulating currently. And I would need to see a break of either of those levels to actually see a potential trade or validate my framework. Currently, it's pretty blurry for me. Yep. Cap. What do you say, cap? You watch the Champions League final? Absolutely. I'm big into soccer, bro. We say football where I am, but for the people from America, I'm really into soccer for sure. How do you manage your emotions while in a trade? That's a good question. I mean, I don't. It's hard to say because there's a lot of things that can make you emotional while you're in a trade. But I think a lot of the emotions that come from, being in a trade are due to being underprepared and having a lack of awareness when it comes down to the model that you are trading. So, do I feel emotions when I'm in a trade? I won't lie, no, not necessarily, because I made sure that when I built my models, okay, that I'm trading currently, that they have the conditions to be actually profitable and generate me some sort of results. So if you're entering a trade and you're using, let's say, some discretion and you're using market intuition, it is far easier for you to be emotional and to second guess yourself on a certain trade and be like, damn, was it the right decision, or did I enter too early? But for me, it's such a mechanical approach that I don't really have anything to, any decision making to do. So it's, I'm kind of stoic in front of the chart. I don't really, you know, have to manage my emotions as much because what I trade is very mechanical. And I would say it's not necessarily in a certain trade or day to day, but if I'm in a loss streak, that's when potentially a series of trades would trigger me or would make me feel a certain way. That's for sure. I won't lie, I'm human. If I've been trading, 5 Lightning accounts and I've been trading them for 3 months, even if I'm super stoic and I know my model and it's not going anywhere and the market conditions are not aligning with my strategy, I will feel some sort of way. We're human. It's normal. And there's kind of nothing you can truly do about it but to manage it and to forget about the outcome, really. But a lot of the psychological issues and mistakes that we are going to make in general are really due to either our personal lives or being underprepared or overestimating the skill that we actually have. 100%. It's exactly like, I'll give you an example. If you get into a boxing ring, I give boxing because it's such a good comparison, but it's like if you're sparring for the first time, your heart is racing and you're not calm because you don't know what the opponent is going to throw at you, and you don't necessarily have the skill. You're doubting yourself. Oh my God, I'm scared. He might knock me out. But the more and more you fight, and the more and more you get better with time, and you know exactly how to respond to those kind of punches and to certain scenarios, then you get calmer and you don't have the same kind of response, I would say, when you're in that ring. It gets you more fired up than being. It's the same thing in trading. It's like, as in my opinion, when you get to a certain level of being very good at what you're doing, it gets very boring because you've seen every color. Basically, it's exactly like video games. I'll say video games is a good analogy. As soon as you're good at a video game, it's not even enjoyable anymore because you've seen everything and there's nothing to discover anymore. And if you're competing at a high level, it's more there's nothing new to you. It's like pretty much damn, I rattled on that for a long time. Could you draw up the 15-minute setup of where you take the next trade? I don't see a trade yet, so brother, don't ask that question 55 times and spam in the chat. Why do you do that? Briv, I saw your question and I'm not taking a trade yet. Chill, bro. Let me respond to other questions. Don't call football soccer. Get rage baited, brother. Easy rage bait. You're getting so much questions, Amos. I love the questions. Keep asking them, guys. Keep asking them. This is literally the best conversation starter, 100%. But like, that's the thing. It's like someone spammed his question 55 times, brother. I'm gonna see your question. Chill. If you're straight, you got nothing to worry about if you are very comfortable with your sexuality. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. It's like when, what's that quote? When you say, if you say to someone who's rich that he's poor, he's gonna laugh at you. If you say, what was that? There's like a whole quote about it. But like, I agree with you. I was just rage baiting the chat so I don't have to say my height. It's easy. God damn, I don't even know where to start. I'm back. What time frame do you use to answer on the hourly time frame? 5 minute. Would you share your age? Yes, I am 22 years old. But in the current age, the current, I would say, society that we're in, age is just literally a number. Because the difference between, let's say, me and someone who's older was the luck of me being able to have all the information that I was thrown at since I was young to start trading either, or just, think in a different way. It's just, there's a lot of luck, and there's a lot of also, being there at the right time at the right moment, So like, let's say now, if you tried to be a trader 15 years ago, there was no props, no prop firm. So most likely your dreams of becoming a six-figure trader from $5,000 of initial investment were out the window. You had no backtesting softwares, no journaling softwares. You did not have communities to be accountable to. You did not have streams to hang around and just chill and think about something else than just trading. There's a lot of things that younger generations are very lucky to have. And age is just a number. I don't feel a certain way if someone's older than me or not. It's like, I would literally feel the exact opposite. I give so much respect to the people who are older. I think it's way harder to do it when you're older, because you have responsibilities, and your mind is at different places. Okay, but there's an art to that, though. There's a maturity level that those youngsters don't have yet, and I don't even have yet too. I have a lot to learn. Okay, we're gonna do giveaways. All right, make sure to know that, and there's gonna be good giveaways too. So first like target will be 250 likes. Okay, we're at 137, so at 250 likes, give away. All right, so just want to note that. All right, the hourly candle is going to close within the next 6 minutes. It is closing bearish, rejecting the low. Pretty weak, if you ask me. Pretty weak. So am I confident in the play? We have an hourly, a 4-hour unfilled gap right below us. Could be a good moment to short, I won't lie. Could be a very good moment to short. Let me check the 15. Let me check the 15. You might get faked out on that. Might try a short there. Might try a short with one. Gotta take it back home. I'll wait for this 15-minute to close. If it closes back within the range, I think we have a lot of chances of just filling the unfilled in general. I just don't want to see that last 15 pop, pop back up. So we'll wait. We have a setup. We have a framework. We have a 4-hour unfilled gap right below us. We swept that high, flipped back below the opening price. We swept the daily high. So I have a reason why I think price has more chances of filling the internal gap than the internal high that is currently running. If I scale down to the hourly, this hourly candle is going to close bearish, showing me that in the last hour, the sellers were in control. Then 15-minute chart, I have a breaker block, but it's not a breaker block because we need to close below 82, but we do have a change in the state of delivery here at 06, and nothing else, but we do have a good sweep of liquidity and closure back inside the range. So could scalp the move down. Could be a quick move. Okay. That's the thing, though. It's like as soon as this hourly candle is gonna close, a big move is gonna happen, basically. So it's either gonna pop back up, find a wall, go back down, or stop us out. But it could immediately go. There's three scenarios. Scenario number one, opens up higher, find a wall within that wick. Scenario number two, opens up lower immediately towards the unfilled 4 hour. Scenario number four, what am I talking about? I'm dumb. Scenario number two, it opens up lower immediately. Scenario number three, it wipes us out and disregards the framework. So we're back below the open. I'm gonna try to sell here. I'm gonna try to sell. I like it. I like that sell for a 1-to-1. Little 1-to-1 with, you guys see the unfilled 4 hour right there. One day, I'ma have it one day. You see, like, I just scale either up or down a time frame to find the same exact trade, same exact entry. That's pretty much it. Time is fractal for me, meaning that whatever the market mechanic behind the trade is, it's just about you being able to find the trade on the time frame that this framework should apply to. So while we're waiting for us to get tapped into this trade, hopefully we do. I am starving for a trade, I won't lie. Please pull back, bro. For the love of God, pull back. $58. Did I just lag? At 58, I'm lagging. Why is that at 58? There's a lag every time. This is so weird. I need to call my my Wi-Fi provider right there. I'm telling you, at 58 of every hour, I'm lagging. Okay, let me check the chat. Hopefully we do get picked up right here. The 15 is strong though. Might have missed out on that one, I won't lie. Might need to chase that one. Might need to chase it. Psych. I don't chase, I track. What am I talking about right now? Alright, chat. Let's see. Damn, Moss, you just hit on my main issue right now, being older and having responsibilities. Yeah, it is way harder for sure. At a certain age, the thing is, you can't put the same amount of screen time as someone who's very young. So most likely the skill level that you're gonna have is gonna be different for sure. It's like you trying to grind a video game or just a sport in general. The kid who has no responsibilities will, you know, have double, triple, quadruple the amount of screen time or playing time. What is your price prediction for the summer? I'll tell you one thing, I am not a swing trader, brother, and I'm not trying to be one anytime soon. But I would need to go to a monthly chart and wait for the monthly close, which happens in 21 days. Holy shit. Okay, I got triggered into shorts. I'm in shorts. I'm in some shorts, guys. Let's lock in. Bias behind that trade. Hourly candle closed bearish, showing me that the sellers are stepping in. Engulfed the previous candle's opening price. Price scale down to this 15. We have that change in state of delivery. We also have that 4-hour unfilled gap right below us. It is a counter trend play, but I'm looking to see if we can potentially see a move back down towards the unfilled gap. Might even want to put the take profit a little bit lower actually for a bigger move. and potentially even enter a little bit heavier within that range. So trying to keep the streak alive. But we'll see. You're lagging big time. Am I? Am I lagging that much? I don't think so. Let me know if I'm lagging. Trying to call these guys real quick. Way slower though. Yeah, it's nice, but it's way slower, and you need to have, you know, the same kind of mindset of trading in general. It's like whatever happens, happens. You know, if I take this trade and it has every bit of price action is telling me to go short, and it ended up losing, then don't blame the session for it. You know, that's a thing we tend to do a lot, especially if you trade New York session, and then let's say you backtest your model during the Asia session, and you have good backtesting results, and then as soon as you take 2-3 losses during the Asia session, you blame the session and you start revenge trading during that session. Happened to me, been there, done that. We're all the same. Trust. How do you avoid going on tilt? Yesterday got me fucked up. Okay. How do you avoid going on tilt? I won't lie. I do go on tilt sometimes. It happens to me. It happens to the best of us. One thing that I try doing is having my trading life and my personal life being two completely different things. I don't want to be too emotionally invested into trading. You know, if trading is the only thing I speak about all day to even my friends, to my, you know, my family, then if I take a loss, how am I going to feel after that loss? I am going to feel like I'm not on the right path to achieving, to being the person that I want to be, because you took a loss, so you're further away from your profit target, which is further away from your you know, your payout. So then you have basically negative, you know, you have a negative thing that is happening to you at that moment. So what am I trying to do here is I always keep my trading life super separate from my private life. As soon as I close the chart, I try to not speak about trading too much. You know, I also try to not necessarily consume so much trading content at the point that I am in my trading. I think information overload is a true thing. Once you have your strategy, you should, you know, take the trades and walk away. You know, you should just yeah, of course you should aspire to be better and aspire to make that strategy better for sure and adapt to the conditions, but there is a whole spiritual thing behind your attachment to trading and you not being able to be where you want to be at that current moment as soon as you take a loss. So I'm telling you, for me, biggest game changer to not tilt: have a life, do something else than just trading. Do, you know, have hobbies, go to the gym, you know, do, you know, soccer, boxing, anything that you want. You know, have a girlfriend, touch some grass. But at the end of the day, there is way more in life than just trading. That's one thing that will make you not tilt. I'm telling you, is having a life outside of trading. If that's the only thing that you have, of course you're gonna be too attached. So as soon as you're gonna have some sort of failure, or like you're gonna blow an account, it's gonna be heavy on your heart, way too heavy. You're not gonna be able to handle it. You know, every tick of drawdown will make you feel a certain way if you're too attached. And I've felt that for such a long time too. You know, and sometimes I do feel the same way because I'm too attached to my outcome or too attached to the payout that I should be able to request in a certain amount of time. But then I know that I have the power over those emotions, and I know I should step away and should do something else. The moments in my life that I was the best trader was the moment where I stared at the chart the least amount of time, and I was literally doing everything in my power to not think about trading in general, which is the complete opposite to what you would think would make you a better trader in general. It's like having that mindset where trading is like your side hustle is going to put you in a flow state. I'm telling you. It's exactly like professional sports. If you give too much value to something, then you overthink every little move. Literally, every little move you're going to overthink. You're always going to think that you're not, you're not doing, you're not taking the right trade, or let's say you're boxing, you're not throwing the right punches or adapting to your opponent the right way. You're always going to overthink. But you got to be in the present moment, just live and accept the outcome. That's my take on it. A lot of spiritual things coming out of me right now, at this late hour, 7:06 p.m. Currently in that trade, looking to see that 4-hour unfilled for value gap. It is breaking structure on the 5. Could see a deeper retracement. I won't lie, if it starts breaking above 26, I will be sweating. That is certain. But keep on going with those questions. Those questions are amazing, guys. I swear. I cannot even pull up the questions. It's the chat's too. Wait, it's the chill bro for me. When did I say that? I for sure said that, but will you pull out from a trade if it starts to prove your analysis was wrong? I only know that the analysis was wrong when my stop loss gets hit. That's deep. Sheesh. Note that. Put that into a quote right there. I only know that my analysis was wrong when my stop loss get hit. Why can't you increase size and shorten the risk to reward? I could do that, but my thesis overall would be 74 first TP, and maybe seeing a good reaction from that gap, sliding us down lower towards 50% of it. They want the money. Yeah, the money aspect is a big part, I would say, for sure. But it's like the outcome. Focusing on the outcome is just you having how can I say that in the best way possible? It's like you having expectations, and when those expectations are not met, then you feel some sort of way. But if you come into your trading day with no expectations and just literally just like you're just trading to trade and to respect your rules, it's not going to be so heavy on you. You got to take the all-time highs again, right? I think we need to take the 4-hour gap before we go back to all-time highs. That's my take. If we don't, then I'll get stopped, and everyone's gonna lose money with me. What is your prediction for the summer? Going up or down? That's a good question. I mean, summer months are so trendy, by the way, but summer months they tend to be bearish a little bit, no? Am I tripping? Let me go on the daily. I'm lying so hard. They're so bullish. What am I talking about? I mean, I'm not a swing trader, or I would say like for that kind of analysis, you would definitely need to talk about macroeconomics and just fundamentals in general. But it's like prediction for me. It's like that kind of trading in this kind of market, this bullish market, is very hard to do. It's like small moves make way more sense than being able to predict a whole trend during a 3-4 month span, from my opinion. $10 in profits. We're seeing life. All right, back to Back to drawing right now, minus 25. Tie. How long did it take you to become profitable? That's a good question. I've had the same system since year one, which a lot of people, I've been trading for years. I've had the same systems since year one. Did I utilize that system in the right way since year one? No. I was doing the same mistakes that every other people would make, which is strategy hop, comparing myself to unrealistic results on Twitter, thinking that what I had was not the right system for me, thinking that, I needed a higher risk reward. I needed to top tick, bottom tick my entries always. And it took me more time than it should have, So I would say and I hate to say how long did it take you for you to be profitable, because there was months within that moment where I turned profitable that I lost or, blew my accounts and then, didn't see any profits for like 2-3 months and then came back up. It's like profitability, like we talked about yesterday, is not a status that once you achieve, you just, you can lay back and it's easy. Every single month you win. It's like, it's the complete opposite. It's like you gotta grind to stay profitable and remain, have that status, remain profitable rather than just achieving it and laying on your back. So it took, I would say technically, like in terms of technicals and the span before I started to see like a consistent like 2K a month, would be a year and a half into my trading. So yeah. Shit, I'm so far away into the comments. Very laggy? Shit. Mall music. Mall music goes hard. What's up, Jada? Are your daily candle based on Globex open and close? The daily candles are Globex open? I just watched the normal NQ futures chart that CME provides us. NQ futures, NQ the mini contract, NQM currently, June contract. How did you quit weed? Amos, how did you quit weed? What was that question? I never started in the first place, so how can I quit? How would you quit weed? It would be another question. I don't know. It's so easy to say things if you're not addicted to something, And it's like I don't even want to talk about giving you advice. I'm not the right person to say anything about it, really. Or you just rage baited me into thinking I was like a weed addict, like a stoner. That would be a good rage bait. Would mark that out. How did you quit weed? How did you quit cocaine? Like, is this chat only for paid subscribers? No. You're talking in my chat right now. It's really free. It's free as candies during the Halloween. Yeah. Do you have the list? Did you? Okay, bet. Let me see. All right. Damn. Okay. That is big news right there. So when will this hit TP? We're currently in drawdown right now. We gotta sweat it out a little bit. It wants a little retracement. You know, well, hourly candle opens up without any down wick. Not the best thing. Not the best thing during Asia, I won't lie. Usually, I love those candles that open in the opposite direction for me to be heavier in a trade. But here, like no down wick. How many buyers was there inside the sprint? Oh, I think we hit the light goal. What was it? 250? Was it 250? I think it was 250, no? Yeah, okay, it was 250. Ah, drawdown. Hate that. Long. Hourly open is crazy. Okay. I'm not in too heavy on this trade, so it gives me some room to potentially re-enter another trade right after. This level is a pretty big level for me. If we start disrespecting it, it would be very bad news. 100%. Very, very bad news. So we are right back at the open, the daily open. We could either flip back above the open very aggressively or see sellers stepping in. So I want to see this 15-minute bar flip back and us actually creating the downwick of this hourly bar if we can. You have a DLL? No. No DLL. Trading until the account is gone. Always. Nah. To be honest, in terms of like how many trades would I take in a day, it's like usually 1 to 2 trades. But while this trade is cooking, we are gonna do a little Grand Cup update, right? Because a lot of things happened, a lot of things moved within the leaderboard. So let me just show you guys exactly. All right, Grand Cup. Yeah, I'll tell you why I went short for sure. Did spun with his. We'll see. We'll find out right now. We'll find out right now. We will find out right now. All right. So let me log into the. Another reaction I wanted to see, guys. I won't lie. Am I lagging? Do you see it, Tony? Am I lagging? I think you are the guy lagging active. Because I watched the stream on my left, and I know when I'm lagging and not, So right now, I think you are the one lagging. A good break here could generate some fake buyers within the market, trap them to see a sell-off right after. But let's speak. Bro. I see the standings. No, can't see the standings, bro. Give you all details. Weird. I can't see the standings of the Grand Cup. like I click on Grand Cup and it says knocked out, and then I literally can't watch anything. I think it's just my account. Might be it. I'm in Tradeify waiting room. Okay, wait. / Grand Cup. Let me see. Maybe I'll find it. I'll find it right there. Yeah. Error. It says page error. I literally can't go there. I don't know why. Yeah. Might be something with my account. Let's see if it loads up again. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Oh. All right. Okay, so we're gonna do a little update of the Grand Cup. We're gonna do an update of the Grand Cup. So here we have 8 more outlaws that were eliminated, leaving only 7 outlaws left. Okay, the people that were eliminated were Rake Trades, Trader Kane. No, left us Trader Kane. I had high hopes. Rebecca, Rips, Big Daddy Max, Desi, Joey Morgan, and Morningstar Rohi. The people that are still in, the outlaws that are still in, are Celine, D Money, Jadon, PB Investing, No Stop Loss Butcher, which is Nick M, PW, and Spudnik. So, wow, I'm very proud of them, actually. Congrats to the people who are still in, the outlaws that are still in, representing Tradeify. Hopefully, we're gonna see some good matchups. But I know there was the matchup today between, what was it? There was a matchup between Joey Morgan and D Money. D Money ended up winning, and there was also a matchup between Spudnik and Rips, and Spudnik ended up winning. So this is exactly what I wanted. Spudnik to go in the finals and win it all. Imagine if Spud wins it. Imagine. Yeah. So we're gonna see how tomorrow will go. Who do you guys have for tomorrow? Okay, we still have Celine, D Money, Jadon, PB Investing, Nick M, PW, and Spudnik. Who do you guys think will go very far within this cup? If it was for me, okay, I think No Stop Loss Butcher could go far. I love that. I love that name so much. Spudnik also, because he's a degen, and you know, Spud has that play style of just letting his runners run. And hopefully Celine too. Hopefully, I want to see Celine do well. Hopefully, that would be cool. So yeah, back on the charts now. D Money. I actually met D Money last time I was in Miami. He's cool. Very cool guy. Currently, we opened up higher, forming potentially the upwick of that future bearish candle. We reacted to the opening price of the previous hourly candle. No downwick within this candle on the hourly, okay, which is could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Usually, most candles have an open, high, low, and close. And within this candle right here, we have no low, okay, no downwick basically being created. So is that potential sign that we will need to go back down to form that downwick? Maybe, but that is also a sign that buyers were very strong at the open, that we did not even see any move down. So we'll see. I like the trade. The overall reasoning behind why I took this trade is on the 4-hour chart. We swept the previous daily high, okay? And on this 4-hour chart, right after sweeping this previous daily high, we can see that we have an unfilled 4-hour gap right below us, okay? And that tells me that within the last 12 hours, okay, the buyers were so aggressive that sellers did not get a fair exchange. So in terms of volume, this area has low volume, and I would basically predict that we have more chances of filling this gap than the high of that range. So that's the play. How long is it going to take? We don't know. How responsive is the level of my entry? It's pretty weak, I won't lie, but this up move could easily be a fake out to trap buyers and then head back down. So we'll see how that goes. It is a bigger picture play. I am willing to let that trade run for at least an hour. Hopefully it doesn't stop us out. Maybe even a stop loss here would make a little bit more sense, actually, depending on when the displacement starts happening. I wouldn't wait. Let's say I wouldn't have my stop loss here if the hourly candle closes. Then, you know, my theory is kind of over. I kind of like this. I'm gonna get in with you. All right, let's do that. It's crazy. Nick M is called No Stop Loss Butcher. I love that. I love that name. I love that name. No Stop Loss Butcher. What do you guys think about that name? Can I trade on the 4-hour chart as a day trader? If you let's say your entry is on a 4-hour chart, I would say you're more of a swing trader for sure. 100%. Best Tradeify plan. There's no such thing as the best Tradeify plan. There's the better plan for your playstyle. And let's say for my playstyle, you know, I like to jab my way to a payout. I like to be, you know, to trade with a 1-to-1 risk to reward with a high risk and just, you know, take it slow. So I would say the best account for me are the lightning accounts, so the accounts with no evaluations. Then the second would be the select accounts with no consistency during the funded stage. And then it would be the growth. But I have hella love for all those accounts. Requested payouts on all those accounts, actually. So, you know, but the accounts that I have the most love for are definitely the lightning funded. And to be specific, the 150K lightning funded accounts with a stack of 5, 100%. Yeah, 150K, you can call it the Amos plan, yeah. 100%. What's your rank on the Grand Cup? I don't even have a rank anymore. I got slapped in the first round. My opponent had 6K profits. What do you want me to do? Literally, my opponent was absolutely killing it, you know. Ooh, what is that? There's some movement right there. There's some movement right there. Back at the entry. See how that goes. It's kind of moving right now. 7:30. We have a very strong closure on that 5-minute chart right here below this internal low, just below my entry. Basically, I would be very confident in the play for sure. What am I gonna do? Let's say if it starts printing back below 94, I will trim the stop loss back below 28. Above 28, sorry. I'm French, all right? I can make those kind of mistakes. You can't. Coming back in like 15 seconds. Now we are back. We are back. Weed break. Oh my god. You guys are crazy. Just popped on. I am literally taking the exact opposite trade here. Similar stop loss and take profit. Alright, let's fight, brother. Let's fight, my brothers. Go to war. Let's go to war. Tokyo CPI. Is it? Yeah, Jack. Do you trade more than one account? Yes, I do copy trade 5 accounts. 100%. 5 accounts are the best. He's gonna take a shit. Oh my. If I was gonna do that, I would have texted my, you know, texted Tony and say, yo, we gotta take a commercial break, you know? Mustache twirl break. What does that mean? That's twirl break. I don't like the wick on my entry. Same thing. I don't like those wicks, but if you have the right framework, those wicks will turn into bodies. Taking a joker is crazy. Nah. You know why I would never take a joker at this time? Basically impossible because I did not even eat, you know? So like I have nothing. So currently need some patience for this trade to work out, you know. We're planning trades on a higher time frame than just the 15 and the hourly. Right now it's a trade based on the 4-hour chart, predicting that we're gonna fill this unfilled 4-hour gap. Really good framework. My entries on the 15-minute chart. Right now we're on the 5 because you know that's where the dopamine is. I would go on the 1, but you know that's the 1 is crazy. We're gonna stay on the 5. Makes a little bit more sense for the entry that I took. And yeah, so looking to see if we can find some displacement below my my entry, and especially below 90, so then I could trim the risk back towards 27. In terms of timing, I wouldn't want to stay in this trade if that hourly candle closes and we still did not take out the 4-hour unfilled gap. So that's pretty much the framework behind it. We'll see if we can potentially lower the risk here. That would be the best, or even actually go risk-free on this trade eventually. Those are the best trades. You take your initial entry, you get the reaction, and then you adjust your risk. So it has a hard time though going that level, that 308 level. I don't know what it has, but it's pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. Let's go, Moss. I'm writing it down with you, buddy. Let's do it. I'm going down. Everyone's going down with me. I like that. I sync. Everyone syncs with me. How come you look for a trade right at this 6 p.m. open instead of waiting for 8 p.m. Tokyo to open? That's a good question. Because one of my models require me to trade right at the open, basically, which is a model based on the highs and lows of the previous day, trying to scalp them. So, you know, a lot of the trades will be taken, I would say, within that first hour, probably. I'm all in. If it hits, I win. If I bet, or I blow the account. Oh shit! All right, someone's porting the trade here. Same hit or blown account. I'm scared. Yeah, Asia session last night was moving. It was moving. That's the thing, though. We never know when it's gonna be an absolute dog water session, or it's gonna be moving like crazy, and there's gonna be a lot of opportunities. I'm seeing an opportunity right now. Could start moving within the next few minutes. I would say even at 8 p.m. But we'll see. We'll see. Asia's the best session. It's like the calmer session, you know. You just finished work, your trading session, laid back, trading an eval or trading you know, some lighter size on your live account. You know? Right before going to bed. Same, that's the same for me. I've been praying for a mentor that trades at this time. Damn. Have y'all? I did not even think about it actually. A lot of people, you know, work until 5, and then the only session they actually have and they can trade is the Asia session. Type 1 if the only session you can trade is Asia. I just want to know. But that's a good thing you said right there. I did not even think about it that way. Because like I'm always saying to myself, like even if you work, like most people that work, you know, go on a bathroom break at 9:30 and just, you know, enter on their phone. That's what I would guess most people would do, or like lunch hour. But type 1 if the only session you can trade is Asia. Type 2 if you're trading everything because you're a DJ. For me, it's 2. 1 because I live in Asia. Okay. That's cool. Hey, there's a lot of 1s. Yeesh. All right. All right. All right. That's good. I love that. I love that. 3. Can only type 3 if I mug. It's like 1, 2. It's for the answer to my question, and 3 is this you mug. How long do you trade Asia? First 2 hours and I'm out. 2 hours and a half. So from 6 p.m. to 8:30. I mean the duration of this video. This is not a video. It's a live. Okay, but it's 2 hours and a half. What's your target? My initial target, first target would be 74. Okay, the first target would be 74, but depending, that's the thing though, it's like I play a little bit differently than most people. It's like if I get that reaction back down and we're below this internal low, I am not gonna risk this high. I'm only risking this high currently because we didn't see any displacement. if we're seeing displacement below 95, then I would judge that this high is protected timing wise and structure wise. So I will trim the stop loss from 51 all the way to 27, which is gonna make me take my profits from here. So the only way I took a full size loss here is if I don't get the initial reaction. You see? So like in those moments, you know, this is what I'm willing to risk, which is like what, 700, 800 on that trade. I would need to not see any sort of push on my side for me to lose, you know, 800, which, you know, happens in some cases for sure. There's 19 minutes left for this hourly candle to close. I would want to see some displacement down right now, I won't lie. You know, I think you guys have to keep sending me questions for for us to go through this session, because holy shit, that session is chopping as hell. I just joined the live. What instrument are you trading? I'm trading NQ futures. I thought Asia doesn't officially open until 8 p.m. EST. Is this 2-hour period? Okay, basically it does open at 6, because basically the 6 p.m. open is the open of the new daily candle. And for me, that opening of that daily candle is very important, because that's usually where we get the fuel in order to go towards the previous daily high or the previous daily low, depending on the strongness of the close of the previous day. So for me, like trading at 6 or like 6:30-ish is very important within those sessions. Yep. What's the bias for the short? The bias is short. You just said that yourself. Take a break from the trade and run a giveaway. That is a very good comment right there. We're going to run the giveaway. We are at 317 likes. Okay. The word will be mogging. Okay, you can spam the word mogging in the chat right now. I will close my eyes, scroll back up, and one of you guys is going to win a 50K select count. All right. So spam the word mogging right now in the chat. I'm going to close my eyes in the next minute. All right. And I know I won't be able to beat the rigged allegations on that one, but we have to do it in, like this in the first week. All right. Don't blame me for that. So we're going to do it that way. I'm going to wait like 30 seconds. I'm going to scroll up with my eyes closed, and you guys will give me like what? 1 second of reaction time, so you guys know I'm not lying. Okay. Okay. Are we ready, chat? Are we ready? I don't know if I'm lagging right now, or if the chat is just way too aggressive. Holy. The chat literally disappeared. Okay. Okay, so 3. By the way, I think a lot of people don't even know. We're running a giveaway right now for a 50K select account. Spam the word mogging, and I'll select one of you guys to win a 50K select account, which is worth what? $90, something like that. It's a free $90. Better do it. Take the risk or lose the chance. All right. 3, 2, 1. Ben CEO. What are those words? The number 2 most, the person that typed the most within the session. Ben CEO. So make sure to have your email within your YouTube description. Congrats, my brother. You won a 50K select account. We're currently seeing some profits, guys. Come on. That's amazing. We're back below the daily open. Hopefully we're not going to wick this level. This daily hourly hourly open is very important. Okay, currently you can see on this hourly candle, this one closed bearish. We opened up higher, most likely forming the upwick of a future bearish candle. This hourly candle has no downwick, meaning that right now we are most likely going to see that opening price being popped for us to create that downwick of that candle. And at that moment, it will be a crucial moment because buyers could step in easily to push it back to the upside. But currently, I am leaning shorts because I want to see this 4-hour fair value gap being tapped into after sweeping the previous daily high. Not going to get too confident within that play for sure. If we get a good push back below, I would say the 90s, so 94-ish, my stop loss will be bring back all the way to 28. Okay, so the risk will be much smaller for the same potential reward. All right, so you guys can stop spamming the word mogging. I know I'm mogging, but now the giveaway's over and we have another like goal. The like, okay, we're 800 people in this chat. We're literally more than during the New York session. That's crazy, guys. I love you guys. All right, next like goal. Since we're 800 people, we're gonna make you guys work a little bit for those accounts. We're gonna do a bigger account though. At 500 likes, we're gonna do a 150k select account. All right, so I need 500 likes, so 140 likes past where we are currently. So let's do it. Let's do it. All right, gold trade please. Nah, chill. Let me click on NQ right now, bro. We're up 150. I might be able to pay for the dinner tonight if that trade hits. All right, might. Or oh shit, nice push. You see that nice push back towards the hourly open right there. You see how that candle had no bottom wick? Now it has one, okay, which is one of the first things that I look at when I was shorting this candle. Ale reaction, oh god, what a trash reaction. The macro is going to start within the next 2 minutes. So the macro, what is it? It is the last 10 and first 10 of every single hour. It is a hectic moment where there's going to be a lot of increase in volatility because the hourly candle is closing. A lot of people are either closing positions or entering into new positions. So it could get hectic. We could get either smoked on that one, or we could see hella profits. We could become wealthy on that trade, you know. So we'll see how that goes. But is the Asia stream permanent? It will remain permanent if you want it to. All right, if you guys are spamming comments like this and are showing love like this, trust me, the Asia session will stay. All right. So I don't like that reaction so far. I'm still trusting my framework more than my entry. Of course, as always, entries are something that fades over the long run, but a framework and truly understanding market mechanics will get you way, way, way further than just an entry model. So here, you know, I'm in it to win it. Hopefully this 5, as soon as it closes, the new one uses the slow as stops in order to run lower and doesn't pull back on us. So I could potentially go risk-free and pray that I'm going to win this trade, hopefully. So it's a good reaction on the 15. I like that. I just don't want to see us, you know, chop. But currently we're not going anywhere anyways. So it's like, you know, it's an easy cope. If I lose, I'm just going to blame it on the PA. You know, it's easy. And you guys will be able to understand it. Also, you're going to be like, yeah, for sure. PA didn't go anywhere. Even if you were a buyer or a seller, you would lose here. Someone type, create your own Discord. Brother, just hop in the Asia streams and just, you know, that's it. Just come hang out, bro. Just come hang out. Come hang out after 9 to 5. Only thing you need to do, bro. Yes, this session is fire. Keep doing it. Appreciate you, bro. It is only fire because the trades are are green. As soon as I'm gonna hit a loss streak, people are gonna be like, yo, chill on that guy. I'm also always blame the chat when the trade goes against. Yeah, literally. If the trade goes against me, I'm like, yo, chat, you sent terrible vibes into my chart, and you know, it reversed on me. But to be fair, though, the action is actually dog shit right now, as we speak. The macro started. I hope to see a nice move down below 95. Hopefully, with no pullbacks towards our entry. You know, could be good if we push back below 89. 89 would be a level where I'm definitely gonna go risk free. If it pulls back on me there, oh hell no, I'm out. Even now, like, would I actually be able to accept that risk? Hell no. I'm gonna risk 19 handles. All right, guys. Actually, like right now, I like the overall play for the 4-hour unfilled, but timing wise, like how long is it gonna take before that gap gets filled? You know, 15-minute wise, like the entry is already here. We're seeing the current displacement of that candle. If we're heading back up, after this candle closes, it's over. It's like, get me out. Especially here, back towards 28, would be a lower probability trade for sure. Let's see. You guys see the candles and the frameworks I'm referring to. But once it starts displacing here, I'll see the heaviness of those candles. I'll see the displacement within those candles and take a decision whether I take my profits within 74, which is TP1, or let it ride past that TP to see a little bit below that gap. Do you trade BTC? No. No, I don't. If I traded BTC, I'd be broke. I would be trading on the weekends. My God, imagine trading BTC, bro. Holy shit. This is for, you know, there's like BTC's for like more than grown men. The stress tolerance you need to have to trade BTC and just crypto in general. I respect you a lot. If you day trade crypto, it's like you're not anywhere near me. It's like you're another human being. I'm on the 15 now. Let me go on the 5. I want to use this 94 level as stops to run lower back towards 89. I hope to see that happening. I move back towards 89 and potentially putting my stop loss to break even. That will be the play, 100%. Not gonna lie, my stop loss on my entry. Okay, you're back at break even. That's good. I wish I would have had such a good entry though, but you never know. You never know if it's gonna pull down first or if it's gonna go up first. That's the thing. The entry is the hardest thing. The entry and the exit are the hardest thing in trading, for sure. Being able to time the market is a skill. Such a hard skill to have. You're either bald or have gray hair if you trade BTC. I agree. Most of us are going to be bald just from trading NQ in general. So like, bro, you might lose your beard if you're trading BTC, bro. I swear to God. Stop spamming mogging, bro. The giveaway's over. We need 500 likes for the next giveaway. It's going to be a 150k select account. Hopefully we're not going to get SL on that trade. That would be bad looks, And I don't know why, but every time I talk to a trader who trades crypto, like who trades futures but started with BTC or started with ETH, he has a horror story for me. He's like, yo, brother, I made a meal and lost it. It's always this. Literally always this. Literally. It's like, yo, I used to be on my prime back in 2020 when the market was like, and then it's like, fuck, lost it. If it happened to you, I won't lie. You now have the stress tolerance of someone who could definitely easily be a 7-figure day trader. Easily. When a lot of people are not even wired for that type of thing. Since a certain trauma happened, now you could become a dangerous trader, you know. That's just my experience with crypto traders in general. It's like, no, I don't know what you guys think. I lost 5K in one trade on XRP. That's, you know, at least you had a stop loss. You were not a no stop loss butcher. Guys, I've been in this trade for how long? I entered this trade at 7 p.m. and this hourly bar was an inside bar. Bro. Come on. This 15 has no upwig. It might retrace within the next two. I'm thinking the 8 p.m. open will either frame mog us to death and hit the stop loss or make us rich. It's either two. One of those two. We might get frame mogged by the 8 p.m. open. This is definitely something that could happen. XRP was my first love. Don't say that. It's gonna be dark. The story after XRP was my first love is gonna be very dark. Yo, bro. "2022 was my best year shorting crypto." Damn. Okay. I'm scared. I closed. If you're scared, you should definitely close. Because I'm not scared for shit. It's either it hits my stop loss or my take profit. I don't care. Because right now I'm literally half of the risk that I took in the first trade in the first place. So it's like I see it potentially resweeping it, but the session would be over anyways, you know. 8 p.m. is gonna open within the next 30 seconds, guys. We're seeing a deeper retracement within that range. To get body slammed within the next few minutes. Oh god. Oh god, I'm scared. I'm not. Definitely not. In the setup we trust. We do. Alright. Let the hourly candle open and pop. Come on. 8 p.m. open. Tokyo. Alright. Come on, Tokyo. Come on, Brev. I swear it. It's past 89. I'm BE. I'll start twerking. Alright, chill. Pause. Resume. Twerking. Unless you trade Asia and New York Open. Yeah, trade both. Closed it. You closed it before that move? Nah. You might need to jump back in, bro. You might need to chase it. I ain't gonna lie. Boss, chill, bro. He took the twerking too seriously, bro. It's just... I'm joking. Alright, come on. Get past 89 and I'm good. Also, can you talk to Spuddy? I'll talk to him. I'll see him in Miami. I'll throw a word for you. Moss, please, next giveaway, look for my side. Bro, yo, like, what do you want me to do? Because I think literally nothing I can do. Bought a long. You're about a long? Shit, I'm scared. Oh god. Like, I'm not. It's gonna die right now. Yes! B! Come on, guys. Okay, that's a BE trade. Let me see the RR here from the second entry. Alright, we gotta pray. One day. I'ma have it one day. Come on. Push. 8 p.m. open. Don't fake out. Don't pop back into the range. This is a good push here from this 1 minute chart. We just need to see a little bit more displacement, use those lows as stops, and run back lower towards the unfilled 4-hour gap. You can see the structure. We swept the previous daily high. This third candle failed to close above the second candle's high, which created the gap. We're flipping back below the 4-hour open. We're seeing some aggression. We're not being greedy. We're respecting the plan. Let's see how that goes. But I want to see this low being absolutely destroyed. Come on. Come on, Briv. Come on. Well, at least we're risk-free now. At least. I can say that I never lost on Asia session yet. What is that retracement? A weak-ass close. Come on, give me a strong close. Come on. 385. Once more. 415. Oh, shit! So I'm not going to be greedy about it, guys. I'm not going to be a dick for a tick here. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. He's going to hit it. He's going to hit it. This is really a... I'm kind of homeless moment. Come on. If it wicks that level, though, we're cooked. I swear to God, we're cooked. Come on! What is that? Yes! We get some W's in the chat, guys. What a beautiful looking trade. 4-hour unfilled gap. Talked about it, wanted to see the first move up to the daily high, didn't get it. Went into the shorts, banked. Had some people in the chat stepping in with me. I don't want to start dancing, but I feel like it. I won't lie, I feel like it. 3 streams during the Asia session. 3 back-to-back wins. First win was 85 points. Second win was 105. Third win was 35. What now? What now? Hell yeah, come on. Literally, if I yell on this mic, at this mic, this sound is literally gonna cut. But GG's. Amazing trade. Amazing trade. Let's go. Awesome trade and patience. Appreciate you, my brother. That's what we do here. That's what we do. CP was promised 3,000 years. Literally. It was promised. It was promised to us. Oh. That's what I want to see. And now, I'm not going to do any other Asia streams until what? until I'm back from Miami. So make sure, to glaze me in the comment section. All right. That was such a good trade. Come on. That was actually a very beautiful trade. Well thought. Actually, I did not even look at the 4 hour in the first place, but when I saw how that first hourly candle closed from the daily high sweep, basically, I knew I had to jump in. You see, what did I use? 4 hour unfilled gap, reasoning behind why I would look for a short. Okay, right there. This is my magnet. Buyers were so aggressive within the previous range within the last 12 hours that we created a fair value gap. Instead of using this fair value gap as an area of entry like everyone would do just because they're able to spot buyers within that gap, I'm using it as an exit point, and also as my next bus stop, basically my next gas station. If we're truly basically what I'm asking myself also is that if we were truly bullish, we would not have closed back within the range of that third candle that created the gap. So here, once we closed, we opened up higher during the 6 p.m. open, sweeping the daily high. When we flipped back below that opening price, I knew the next target was going to be the unfilled 4 hour gap. So what is my time frame alignment here? The 4 hour is aligned with the 15 minutes. So here, I went down to the 15 minutes, 15-minute chart, and I am looking for a break. I am looking for a break of structure. You don't need to overcomplicate it with, an inversion gap or, a lot of different things. For me, if I see this, a high, low, higher high, lower low, and we're breaking below opening prices of higher time frame candles, I am shorting the living out of this market back towards what? My magnet level right below me. So here, I had my thesis. I had the right time frame alignment. I had the right exit, you see? So what was my entry? It was at around 7 p.m. How did I manage this trade? I entered, okay, so you guys can see I entered off of the break of structure here, and there was the gap below me, which was my take profit. When we pushed here, my stop loss was above that high. This was my stop loss. I don't know how deep the retracement is going to be, so I am not going to put such a tight stop, get ticked, hit the stop loss, see my stop loss get tickled, and then see it run back down towards my take profit. I don't want to see this happen. So here, I'm putting a wider stop, letting price do its thing, letting price accumulating. When it gives me the first initial pop and we're breaking lows, I am going to trail my stop loss back to the most recent high, which now is going to give me the potential of either trimming my take profit right here, or if I see a lot of displacement, taking a lower take profit. This is literally the whole explanation behind the trade. This is something that I judge being super replicable over the long run, something that you can catch on every time frame. You can spot a gap on the 15 and potentially look for a move back towards it. There's multiple trades like those within a day. I'll show you one with my eyes closed right now. 15-minute right there. You have a gap right below you. This third candle failed to close above the second candle's high. You have a magnet level right below you. What do? You scale down to the 1-minute chart because this is the aligned time frame, and you enter within this range, predicting that you are going to get back down towards this internal low. So what is a good entry right here? As soon as you're breaking this internal low, you short, you have your take profit right there, stop loss for a 1-to-1. What is it doing? Opens up lower, back towards this gap, okay, on the 15. You see here, this is the 15-minute framework I'm talking about, 1-minute entry. But what we did was a 4-hour framework, 15-minute entry. Boom. Enough yapping. Let's get to the rage baiting, and let's get to the, a little bit of, how do we call that? Okay, I lost the word. We can get to the brain raw a little bit. We did the job. We're paying for the dinner in the next 20 minutes. Paying for dinner. How much did we make? How much did you make on that trade? Like 800? 35 points to 1 mini? What was that? 700? Really good trade. Oh, you see? Perfect exit. Sheesh. Perfect exit. Literally perfect exit. That was literally bottom tick. And you see, I had my exit being lower. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be a dick. No, that's the thing though with exits. I'm lagging right there. Or my trading view chart lagged. But that's the thing with exits, or with entries in general. It's like so hard to have the pinpoint perfect entry or pinpoint perfect exit. That's what I hate in general about high risk to reward, is that it's preaching those kind of precise entry with no drawdown, when there's so many random things that could happen on the chart. A random spike because this news, or that person said this on Twitter, or you gotta let some room for your trade to run. And one thing with me is that my overall perspective of trading is I need to be on site. If I can predict one bar on the chart, 10, 15, 30 points, I don't need a 100-point move. If I can consistently predict one bar on the chart, okay, which here in this case, let's say it was within a 4-hour, but I was predicting basically an hourly candle, then if you have your stop loss wide enough but you are on side, you will survive. You will survive a lot of different market conditions. That's also what's important. There's going to be hella market conditions where you're going to be able to see pinpoint entries with tight stop loss that will work. But there's also a lot of different market conditions that if you keep the same energy, you will give back all the money to the market because the regime changed and you didn't adapt, So what session do I prefer? I don't know, chat, but like the chat is going crazy in Asia. I kind of like Asia right now. Kind of like Asia. Three streams, 3 back-to-back wins. Kind of like Asia now. Let's see the comments. A little bit of je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais pas. Love you, man. If a grown man writes down "love you, man" in full caps, it means that he full ported his trade. I know a grown man when I see one. So Norpez, good shit on your trade, bro. I know you ported. I know you passed either an account or got a payoff of that. I love tuning into a Moss stream. You're so calm. Appreciate you. I want to bring that calmness into you guys. I try to be, I try to show a little bit of my real personality. I'm really calm, but I'm kind of, I have a lot of energy also at the same time, So I'll show both sides. How much drawdown do you allow? My stop loss, which would be like, on that trade, it was what, 700? That was my initial stop loss. It was 35 points. If you close, okay, if you close for a partial, what would be your next target? It would be, that's a good question. It would be the next gap on the hourly. So this low. At an all-time high territory, I would say those hourly gaps are very, very responsive. So like a good take profit level would be 38 and another one would be 180, but that is you're stretching it a little bit, bro. Like, it's like if you're not taking profits at 237, you like, that's the type of greed we're talking about in the Bible, bro. And I never read the Bible, but I know they talk about it. Love your trades and reasoning. Thank you. Yeesh. What is your success rate with this model on the opening of Asia? I won't lie. It's like it's changing. It's like when someone asks me this question, like, what's your win rate, or what's this, what's that? It's like I could have great months or I could have bad months. It's really depending. I don't judge my results day to day. It's like at the end of the year, I can really give you, what happened. Might be too late for you if you copied. Might be broke. Nah, but in general, I would say my win rate in general would be something close to 65 with a 1-to-1. That makes sense. Not being too optimistic and not being also too pessimistic, if that's the word in English, in French. So I'm praying that it's the same word. See, a lot of times I do that gamble, and if you're French, you can back me up on that. I literally do the gamble, and I remember one time I said a word, and literally to one of the TTV guys, and they were like, "What did you just say? It's not even a word." And I was like, "All right, I gambled, didn't work." Took the L on that one, lost aura, but lost aura for real. Now my eyes. Ya tu habites où? Why do you want to know exactly my location? If it's for a hug, I might give you that location, but if it's just, why do you want to know exactly where another grown man is sleeping? It's like, that's the question I have for you. What about those grown men? As soon as you ask a question, you can literally rage bait the other person behind the screen saying that. Why would a grown man ask this question? Literally. You can literally ask a trading question and be like, either drunk or full port. Yep. The drunk comment is good. You love a lot of people when you're drunk. That's for sure. I cannot. Yeah. That guy needs to get banned for at least 5 minutes. He said, "I bet Amos is ticklish at the feet." Nah. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Chill. We should all tickle Amos. What are you guys talking about right now? Did you look at the 5-minute chart to mark the break of structure on that trade? Good question. I looked at the 15. And this is what I call a change in a state of delivery. So there's multiple candlestick patterns that I will use to trade back towards an unfilled gap. Okay, so I'll show you the exact the good example. Let's say this is a gap. Okay, this is the unfilled gap, and there's multiple things that I could be looking for in terms of entry models within that in order to short back towards the unfilled. So the unfilled is the reasoning why someone who's going against me would lose over the long run. Okay, why? There's a gap below me, area with low volume. If someone goes long here and he doesn't see that gap, we need to take that gap first before taking that high second. Okay, that's my thesis. That's my hypothesis on the market. So here, there's multiple entry models within that framework. Number one, there's the breaker block. High, low, higher high, lower low. Okay, and then I would use the zone as an area of structure break and pull back to retest in order to predict that sellers are going to jump in right here in order to generate new lows within that unfilled gap. That is number one. This is the breaker block. Second one is the 180, which is the inversion gap. We push up very aggressively, creating a fair value gap, let's say on the 1, 2, 3, 5, 15-minute chart, depending on your framework. But every time frame that you're framing your trade off of has the right time frame alignment. Okay, so here you would wait for this fair value gap to get disrespected, because if you were truly bullish, you should respect that gap in order to create new highs. But if you're bearish, though, you will disrespect it, and then you will go see the next gas station, which is the unfilled gap. Okay, that is my second entry model. Third entry model would just be a regular break and retest, which would be push up with no structure being formed whatsoever here, and then you have a low, high, lower low, and then you use that retest in order to predict that sellers are going to jump in again to create a new low back towards the unfilled gap. Those are the only three entry model that I would potentially use in order to justify why I would enter and basically short back towards an unfilled gap. Okay, here what ended up happening, we had I'll already see that question coming in, but there's going to be some people saying we never truly closed below the low form at 83, which is totally true, which it doesn't make it a real breaker. Okay, but there's another concept called the change in the state of delivery, which I would judge being the aggressive entry before the real breaker actually appears, which is this. Okay, so you have, let's say you have this, you have a bearish candle, then you have a bullish candle. This is red, this is green. Okay, let's say this is red again. I'll give you like the perfect example so you understand. Okay, I'll have my drawing skills right there. Okay, I'll literally do my best for you to understand that. But you know what? I'm just gonna do it that way. You could do it like that. Just one. Okay. And let's say we push. Okay. So now we pushed. So in order for me to have a breaker, since we created a high, a low, and a higher high, I would need to get below, okay, to close below that low here. Okay, I would need to close below that wick right there for me to create a breaker. Okay, you see, I would need to have a candle that opens up, or it's either one or multiple candles, but one that drives down and closes below that, the most recent low that got created, that initiated that up move. Okay, the last up move before the sweep, okay, or the break, you can call it. That is what we call a breaker, which is my entry model number one. And here, I did not utilize that entry model. I utilized the aggressive entry off of this, which is when you're actually not waiting for us to close below that wick, because it would be too much to ask for, and it would be too close to the gap that you're targeting. So I'm only going to require a break of the opening price of the last series of up close candles that created the sweep. So at that moment, once I close below this, I judge that being an engulfing scenario. Okay, you can just call that engulfing, but I call this CISD, which would be the aggressive entry before actually waiting for the full-on break of that down that down wick, basically. Okay, and right there, that's what I utilize. So if I go here within this chart, you can see once we broke above the high, okay, we have what? A low, so a high, low, higher high. And for me to confirm that breaker, we need to close below this low. Why am I not using this? Because if I wait for the closure below this low, I will be 3 handles away from the gap, and there will not be an entry that actually makes sense risk to reward wise to engage within risk. So here I will use the aggressive entry, which would be the opening prices of the series of up close candles that created the sweep, which would be right here. And as soon as I have a break below that, then this is exactly where I'll initiate short with my stop loss at a level where I would basically consider that my trade doesn't make sense anymore, which would be the previous buy side. We opened up, filled this, okay, you see, we needed some more, a bigger push within that range, but then we saw a nice move down. When this happened, I had my stop loss back above this internal high, which turned this trade into a 1.5, okay? And that was the trade that I took. Pretty simple. But my nose is killing me. It's not even cold here. So hopefully you understood the entry model right here. Great explanation. I never understand entries. I mean, you don't need to. You don't like. Of course, you need to, but you don't. The entries for me, once you understand that direction is far more important than entries, then you kind of you're kind of opting for sloppier entries rather than just top tick and bottom tick, because you truly understand the value of having the direction right rather than anything else, really. That's what I value a lot. I value direction rather than my entry model, because I know entries fade. There's gonna be months back to back where your inversion for value gap is gonna be the best model in the world. All right, it works until it doesn't. Let me tell you this. An entry model works until it doesn't. The breaker block, there's sometimes within the chart, I'm telling you, every time high, low, higher, high, lower, low will be created, as soon as you sell that right there, you're going to make profits. There's market conditions like those, but it works until it doesn't. Because why? You need something, you really need to understand the market mechanics and why price moves from A to B on the higher time frame to know that, okay, I have the direction right most likely 65% of the time when this scenario occurs. So now it's up to timing, and it's up to the market conditions to pay me. And if what I just said resonated with you, make sure to like, subscribe, and buy my course. No, I'm joking, but like, subscribe to the channel, all right? That's what it's all about, though. I think it's not, when I say something, it's never about me being right or me being wrong. I think there's multiple ways to view trading in general. There's like infinite possibilities of being profitable, with different strategies. But in general, it's like what resonate with you the most. That's really the question you need to ask yourself. It's like, if you're that type of person who can't handle a big losing streak, or can't handle randomness, or can't handle not justifying why you lost or why you entered in this exact area, and you're someone who's risk averse and already has responsibilities and doesn't like that randomness, and that you already feel some sort of way when you're buying an account in the first place, there is a certain path that you need to adopt in order for you to reach your full potential 100%. It's like you can't go, if you're 45 with kids and you trade with like 50% discretion, it's gonna go wrong in my opinion. that's like the easy scenario, I would say, but like you get what I mean. Thoughts on session and weekly profiles? I don't think we have enough for that. We're gonna stop in 1 minute, but it was an amazing stream, guys. Amazing stream. We were more than 800 people in the stream. I know we're gonna have more people in the stream when I'm in a trade, that's for sure. But it was still an amazing stream. Very good trade, I would say. Well thought. Good. Also, I was willing to long within the first print. You guys know I'm not going to shy away from any trades that respect my framework, but unfortunately we couldn't see that pullback into my entry. But yeah, so appreciate you guys. Do you support PSG? Yes, I do. I'm a full-on Arsenal hater. All right, I will hate on Arsenal for the rest of my life. But yeah, W stream, guys. Can we get some W's in the chat for this stream? 3 Asia streams, 3 back-to-back wins. Okay, 2 shorts, 1 long, around 200 points caught within those 3 sessions. Hella laughs, hella new people in the chat. I love you guys, and hopefully I was able to put a smile on your face, or you were able to pass an account. I don't know. But appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my normal segment, which is from 12:30 to 1:30 if you want to hop in. and we're gonna look for a trade like every single day. Appreciate you guys so much, and see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.